Hey guys, this is David Wynn with the Mortgage Edge podcast brought to you by the Velocity Mortgage Team. Today, I got a very special lady that's just killing out there. All the way from Georgia to Dallas, Miss Alexandra Heard. How are you?
Yay. Oh my goodness, David, I am so good. Thank you for spending some time talking with me,
I
letting me
know,
come on
right?
your podcast. I'm
I
super
love it. I
excited.
love it. Well, people don't know it's Friday the 13th.
Yeah, yep.
I can't even talk. Friday the 13th, Friday the 13th, 2025.
Mm,
So
exactly.
let's talk about you, how you got started.
Okay.
What people don't know is this: you haven't been in the business
Yeah.
that long, but you're putting up better numbers.
No.
So Georgia to
Mhm.
Dallas. Well, first of all, what brought you to Texas?
Yeah. So totally it was happenstance. It wasn't planned at all. The opportunity presented itself. And at the time I was not in real estate at all. I was I've lived so many lives, David, let me tell you. So I was in social services for a spell, right? I did that maybe 8 years. So I mean that's it's almost a decade. Switched gears a little bit, got into the hospital sector for about 5 years. Then I got into recruiting for a sales company for a few years. So while recruiting for the sales company, we moved offices to Texas. And I just posted on Facebook that I'm moving to Texas. That's all I did. And an acquaintance of mine saw it, said, "Hey, I hadn't seen you in about 10 years. Let's reconnect. Let's get together." So I do exactly that. We reconnect, we hang out. And you know what he says to me? He's like, "Hey, I think you'd make a great realtor." And I'm like, "Me? No, get out of here, get out of here." Um, but it really resonated with me because it was something that I always wanted to do. So I thought to myself, well, let me just explore this and let me just see. So long story short, I had the opportunity to move here because of something totally different, sales, recruiting. But when I got here, I got introduced to real estate.
That's awesome. And that was 4 years ago.
Mhm.
So I want to
Yeah,
emphasize, guys, she's only been in the
yeah,
business 4 years and
yeah.
she is just killing it. From the moment that she started, she has
Hmm.
just crushed it. And I think it has a lot to do
Yeah.
with your brokerage, right? I think
Hmm.
one of the things we talked about, you love your
Yeah.
brokerage and you're
Yeah. That too.
you're the buying agent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you don't know what it's like not to be successful.
That is very true. I came in the gate just on fire. So just like you said, I partnered with an awesome brokerage. And one of the things that made it so awesome was the fact that it was a smaller team. So there are only about 20 agents on the team. So I was really able to collaborate in a team manner. So I was able to pick people's brains and really be seen. So when I thought, oh, help me do something, I could easily raise my hand and the broker or even my teammates would run to my aid and say, "Hey, this is how you do it." Boom, 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 boom. So definitely being able to be a part of that small curated team really helped jumpstart me as a realtor. Because as you know, in real estate, taking the classes and taking the tests totally different from actually selling real estate.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I want to rewind a
Yeah,
little bit. You said you came
please.
to Dallas, had a job, but you never
Mhm.
started the job because you went straight to real estate. Is that correct?
Oh, you know what? Actually, I did continue recruiting for about 90 days after I got here. So, and I'll back up too. So, when I moved to Texas, again, it wasn't planned. I did not have a community. I did not have a network of friends. I did not have a sphere. I didn't know anyone here. So, literally, after about 90 days, I started to recognize that real estate is one of those things where you're either all in or it's nothing. So that's when I quit my job after about 90 days. I quit the sales job, went all into real estate, showed up at the office from sun up to sundown, cold calling, just on fire, going crazy, going nuts.
Well, and I know because I know your story. It's not like you had $1 million saved up, right? You had to start
No,
producing really quickly.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yes, I did. I depleted my entire savings account to move down here, to quit my job and to just get things going. And honestly, it was just because I was so confident in real estate. I was like, you know what? I know that I have what it takes. And it was the passion. I have so much passion for real estate and it's so much fun that it was an easy choice to say, you know what? I'm going to quit. I'm going to go all in, use every all of the resources that I have to get going, because I know once I get this ball rolling, I know I can do this and I know I can be successful.
That's amazing, lady. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I always
Yeah.
like to ask, I want you to go back in time to one of the first transactions, and what's that one transaction that you can think of that you closed or were part of?
Mm.
You said, you know what? I found my
Yeah.
calling. There's always one that realtors that, this is
Mm.
why I'm in real estate. This is what I love to do because I can hear it in your
Yeah.
voice, the passion that you have. You
Yeah.
love real estate.
I
Love it.
do. I do. I really do. Man, that's a really good question. I've honestly, and this is a blessing, but I've had so many of those stories. Like I have so many stories where my heart is full by what I do. I've had veterans literally move across the country, and it was a bumpy ride on some of those transactions. And so I can remember being there, literally holding the wife's hand as she's crying, not knowing if we are going to be able to close, if she just arrived to Texas and now has nowhere to stay. Just it was very emotional. But I was able to get some things done. I had to really use my resources that I had gotten along the way, and we were able to get it done. Now it was a couple days delayed, but we were able to get her the keys to the house, get her moved in, and she was so grateful. And that's for me solidified. Like I'm literally out here changing people's lives. Like her husband is military, serving this country, and he had to move and relocate here to Texas. So quite naturally, she came too. And so them getting that house was just such a game changer for them. And just to be a part of it, just unimaginable, just unspeakable.
That's amazing. What?
Yeah.
So tell me, 4 years in the business, what do you
Yeah.
think separates you from other realtors? What do they get when they get Alex Heard?
I would say genuineness. I think people can hear my genuineness, they can see my genuineness, and they can feel my genuineness. And I think that makes a lot of people confident to work with me and makes people comfortable working with me. And honestly, it's even had a lot of my clients refer their friends and refer their family to me because they know that I'm not just about making a sale. I'm not just about, helping you, you know, on to the next thing. I really want to know you. I really want to know your story. I want to know your goals, your motivators, your thought process. I want to know what's important to you, what's important to your family. And then I want to take all of that and help you reach your goals. Which, if it's buying your first home, your second home, whatever the case is, I want to help you. I want to walk alongside you to do that with you. So definitely, I think it's the sincerity that I have for people.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I can tell you
Yeah.
you're bubbly. I want one
Yeah.
thing is I want to use you just so I can hang out with you and get a piece of
Oh
that
my goodness.
personality and get to hang out with you
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, you
So
know what? And it's so funny that you say that, hanging out with me. So as you know, when most clients are on the journey, we spend a lot of time together. We're in and out of houses, looking, speaking on the phone, all of these things. But then usually when we close the transactions, so many of my clients have invited me to their housewarming, dinner, baby showers, birthday parties for their kids, lunch. They've called me on the phone and literally they're like, "Hey, Alex, haven't heard from you in a while and I just miss you. How are you?" So literally, I, I honestly, like I said, it's more than just a business transaction. It's really a people connection.
so let's talk about this. One thing I do know
Yeah.
is your brokerage gives you a lot of leads. You're a big
Hmm.
Zillow lead person, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So
Yeah.
what do you tell people that hey don't buy leads or don't buy or whatever? I mean, you obviously are flourishing, but it's more
Yeah.
than that. You can get a lead, but that doesn't mean that you convert.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about being a buyer agent for
Yeah.
Zillow.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. So it's bittersweet. Let's say that. I do have an opportunity to meet a lot of people, which I'm really grateful for. And that is one of the things that attracted me with the relationship that I do have with Zillow. But getting the opportunity is just half the battle. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
others,
the guy just like you, right? The guy like you, trust
yes.
you.
Exactly. And these are strangers that you meet off the internet. So it's like a lot of people are like, "Hey, who is Alexandra really? Are you just Zillow? What is it?" So definitely the other side of that is, yes, I do have to connect with people. I have to get to know people. I have to allow people to get to know me. And sometimes that can be really scary because sometimes it can be either really scary or sometimes I do get into a mindset of, hey, let's talk about you. What are your goals? What are you looking for? How can I help you? But then I have to pause and remember, wait, tell them about you. Let them know who you are so that they can feel comfortable and feel confident in working with you. So that's always the fun side too.
Well, I know you're in Dallas, but how far?
Yeah.
Because Zillow doesn't determine a certain area. How far do you drive? How far do you go? What's that look like?
Yeah. I'll tell you, I have been all over the Metroplex. So I've gone as far east as Crandall, Forney, as
Oh
far
my
north as Princeton, Melissa, Salina, as west as Chico, Texas. I don't know if you've
wow!
ever heard.
I've heard of it. I'm
Um,
from Texas.
oh, that's true. That's true. Okay. And even as far south as Granbury. So I think that's pretty much the entire Metroplex
Oh,
perimeter.
I think it's a 100-mile radius that you just talked about, and you don't mind.
Yeah,
So you don't mind driving. So
yeah.
there's a lot of realtors that
No.
they don't do that, but that's probably that's a trade secret. You'll go anywhere,
Yeah.
right, for your clients?
I will. I sure will. I sure will. Because again, I get like you can't always be super limited because everybody's scenario is so different. Because even the woman that moved to Granbury, she was moving here from San Antonio, and so she was moving to retire. She wanted to be close to her adult son, and that was the area that spoke to her. Because we did look at in some of the Fort Worth, Minbrook areas too, but the Granbury, it was just a
Marsh, yeah.
slower area, a lot of retired people, beautiful lakes, the country club, golf, all the things that she really liked. So when we got there, she was like, "Oh, this is the community for me."
That's awesome. Well, Alex,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
people will say the market is terrible and
Mm,
and the secondary thing is there's no buyers out there, but you have a lot of buyers. What's up?
yeah.
The,
Okay.
the big thing about the market right now, they say there's 500,000 more sellers than there are buyers, which is good for you
Yeah.
because you can
Yeah.
negotiate every single deal, get seller
Yeah.
concessions, stuff like that. How are you still have all these buyers? Talk about it.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
it still
100%.
consistent? Is a flow still? Is it hasn't stopped?
No, no. The flow is there, the business is there, buyers are there, people are there. And honestly, I would say it's two things. One, so I am a believer. So one, I would say the Lord. The Lord literally has just put me in a great position, given me just a great opportunity and just allowed me to partner with several different resources to connect with those buyers. But the second part is honestly, David, I think that life is what you make it. Like if you're sitting around and you're just negative and you're looking at the glass half full and or half empty and you're expecting a shortage or you're expecting business to be slow, that's what you're going to get. So for me, I see opportunity everywhere. So I see opportunity everywhere. I'm expecting it. I'm looking for it. I'm waiting for it. And I'm excited when it gets here. It's never a surprise to me. So I think that one, it's the Lord. Two, it's my attitude. And three, life happens. So there's always going to be buyers and sellers. Families are going to be growing. Retirement's going to be happening. Downsizing is a real thing. Families can go from 3,000 square footage houses to now they're empty nesters. So they need something a little smaller and manageable. Jobs will always have you relocating. So there's always going to be people out there needing housing because literally we all live somewhere.
Yeah, but let's not talk about that. I mean,
Yeah.
what every deal are you getting seller concessions?
Almost, almost. I would say in this market, 90% of the time, such a big percentage of the time. Absolutely.
Yeah, so you're out
Yeah.
there saying now's the time to buy. Forget about the interest rate. Forget about what's going on in the world. Forget about
Mhm.
you call Alex and she'll get you a good deal because we can
Yeah.
always refinance later, right? Is that
Exactly. Exactly. 100%. Because the big deal is you're saving 10, 20, $30,000 on day one at the closing table with seller concessions and with partnering with great lenders who's able to kind of maneuver and help and be creative and say, you know what? Again, tell me what your goal is and I can help you get there. And guess what? Me as a realtor, you as a lender, that's what we do. That's our
Exactly.
specialty. That's our magic.
So tell me, do you have buyers that go, well, I'm just going to wait, or, and how do you get them to to keep going?
I do. I do. I have people sometimes who have cold feet or who think, oh, this is too good to be true, or they're just saying, I'm gonna wait because I know things are gonna get better. Honestly, I I don't pressure people. So I just educate them and I send them resources just along the way. And usually after a couple of months, honestly, they're like, hey, Alex, we kept reading a lot of the material that you were sending us, or we kept looking at all of the stuff that you were sharing and all we see you with all of your wins on your social media and things like that, and we see, you know what, maybe this is where the market's going to be, maybe it's okay for us to proceed. So a lot of the times I just stay connected with buyers and I say, hey, if you're not ready today, totally fine. If you want to wait 6 months, a year, whatever the case may be, you feel comfortable, but when you're ready to move, call me again and I'm going to be ready to go.
That's awesome. So are you having a good
Yeah.
summer? How's your summer buying season going? Has it picked up since we started?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, it has. Honestly, the business has been really, really good. Like I said, I've had a steady flow of buyers. A lot of people moving from out of state here, because the kiddos are out of school. So a lot of people finding it a really, really good time to just make the smooth and easy transition. And David, and honestly too, business has been really good. I've been really blessed in that way. But also, I've had a little bit of personal time to do some of the things that I enjoy doing, which is spending time with my family. So I've gotten to go back to Georgia um, um, to see my family and to check on them as well. So it's been a really good balance of both. So I'm really grateful for that.
Well, let's talk about that, Miss Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia and
Yeah.
Texas. Are you going to ever move back? Is Texas now your
Ugh.
new home? What? Let's talk about
Yeah.
that.
That
'Cause
is a
we
good
love you here.
question. I'm not- and I feel the exact same. So as of right now, I am staying put here in Texas. I will be here as long as the Lord sees space for me here, and I will go wherever He says. So I honestly don't know. I don't know where my future will take me, and I don't know how things will go. But in the meantime, fun fact: the flight from DFW to Atlanta is only like an hour and a half, so it's super easy and quick.
Yeah, you can spend every weekend you want there, right? But
Exactly.
you can't because you're in real estate, and
I was gonna
that's our busy. Maybe during the week.
I was gonna say, and that's even better. Usually I fly home on a Tuesday and then come back on Friday morning for the weekend. It's
So tell me,
perfect.
Alex, what life experiences have shaped you to where you're at today? Can you think of some stuff?
Life experiences. Yeah, definitely the biggest one of them all is moving from Georgia to Texas, not knowing anyone. Um,
Was
and
that scary?
before
Hang on.
I,
Was that
yeah,
scary?
it was petrifying. And fun fact, I thought that I was an introvert. Had you asked me before now about myself, I would have said, oh, I'm an introvert. I'm shy. I'm quiet. That is literally how I described myself. So moving here really helps me to find who I am. Because I really I didn't know who I was before because I'd always had the comfort of all of my family, all of the friends that I've grown up with. But moving here, I had to really dig into who is Alexandra Heard? What do I like? What do I love? What am I good at? What am I afraid of? That's one of the biggest things that shaped me was moving to a completely new area, not knowing anyone, not knowing how to pronounce the name of cities, and those little things like that, I didn't even realize what would be important. So that definitely, I would say that's one of the biggest things to shape me is to move to a totally different city and start over, essentially.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
so tell us, Alex, what do you do for fun? What does Alex do for fun?
Okay. So my favorite things, a good game night. Oh my goodness, I love games, puzzles. I love reading. I love hiking. I love serving at my church. I love serving people. Recently, I've got into golfing, and I think that is going to be the thing for me. It is a ton of fun out there, challenging, but fun.
Outdoors, vitamin D, exercise.
Uh-huh.
I know a lot of people
Exactly.
that got into it.
Yeah, exactly. And I got a nice tan too. I just went last Saturday. It was a lot of fun. And then coming up, I'm getting to feed veterans. So, like I said, I love serving people, serving the community, getting to meet people. What else? I think that and travel. Of course, I love, love, love to travel. And I've got some places I want to go to before the end of the year too. So,
That's amazing. Well, Alex,
yeah,
I got a million
yeah,
questions to ask you, and
yeah,
I know you got to go. So, what did we talk about? What I'm sorry, what did we not
yeah.
talk about today that we should have talked about?
Mm. I want to leave a word for anyone who's thinking about becoming a realtor or thinking about moving to a new city or just thinking about doing anything that's scary. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Trust the process, lean into it, and there's no such thing as failure, honestly. So hopefully that's a great word for someone.
It is. Well, Alex, if the people want to find you, and I know they do, because if I'm looking for real
Yeah.
estate buying or selling or anything like that,
Yeah.
I'm using you as my realtor. How they get hold of you?
Great.
How do they find you?
Yeah, yeah. So I think honestly, the best way, call me or text me. So that would be my cell phone. My cell phone number is 404-957-6237. And again, in case you're scrambling for pen and paper, 404-957-6237.
And I
And I'm
got you
always
covered.
available.
And I got you
Yeah.
covered because if you're watching this live, folks, you saw that go across the lower thirds. If you're looking for a great
Nice.
realtor out there, there's only one lady I'd call. That's Alex. You get to spend a lot of time with her. She's bubbly, she's kind, and she knows what she's doing. She's going to get you the best deal out there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm David
Yeah.
Wynn. I'm with the Mortgage Edge podcast. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
See you next time. Bye, y'all.